This is another Lenny Moon Sports Moment. I'm Lenny Moon. Some legacies are created on multiple platforms. Such was the case of former Chicago Bulls All-Star Bob Butterbean Love. The 6'8" forward enjoyed a stellar NBA career and was actually the Bulls' all-time leading scorer until some gentleman named Michael Jordan came along, who later smashed all of the existing standards. The Bastrop, Louisiana native had always suffered from a severe speech impediment, and at the end of his career, a nagging back injury also caught up with him as well. And if that wasn't enough, was also experiencing an ugly divorce on the home front. Although Love passed away back in November of 2024, his determination to overcome adversity after hitting rock bottom will live on through the persons that witness his journey.
Story to me is one of the more compelling stories in sports. Of course, as we mentioned, a three-time NBA All-Star, the Chicago Bulls' all-time leading scorer until Michael Jordan came along and broke, I guess, most of your standing records. But he broke after you had left the NBA, Bob. It got to the point, I guess, where you had fallen on some hard times, and you had, I guess, taken a dishwasher's position. You had the speech impediment problem. You later overcame that, and I guess you came full circle to be employed by the team that you spent so many glorious years with, the Chicago Bulls. But let's go back to the period of time where you initially left the NBA and describe that period of time.
1977 when I retired, 1976, 77 season when I retired. See, most people knew me as a pretty good ball player, as a great ball player. But very few people knew that I had a tremendous stuttering problem. I couldn't say one word. I was out stuttering and stuff. And during that time I was married, and I had to have a second operation on my back. I had the operation on my back. The doctors told me I would probably never walk again. I would always have to use a cane and a crutch. And one day I came home from the doctor there, and I walked into my house there.
Right.
And I looked around, let me tell you, everything I owned was gone. My money, my car, my furniture, my trophies, my all-star rings, every materialistic thing I owned was gone. Then I looked on the floor there, I saw a note from my wife, I went on and picked it up. And the note basically said that she didn't want to be married to a guy that couldn't talk. And she definitely didn't want to be married to a guy that was going to be crippled the rest of his life. And I learned it. Let me tell you, man, that was one of the most hurting feelings I had ever had in my life. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, but that same day, what I did, I went into my bedroom there and I got on my knees and asked the Lord to give me strength, give me courage to go on. The next day I got up, I put my cane in the corner, put my crutch over by the door, and then I started walking, and after about a month, I was able to walk downtown. I went to a company called Bastrop in Seattle, Washington, and I asked for a job. They said, "Sure, we'll give you a job, but you got to start off at the bottom, son." And I've learned, despite having a college education, having accomplished everything in the world of sports so that could be accomplished. I was All-American, All-Star, All-Pro, All-World, but I couldn't talk. I had to start off washing dishes and busting tables for $4.45 an hour. Let me tell you, I did that job. I did it well. One day when the owners came to me and said, "Bob, we noticed you've been doing a good job, son. But I thought, well, Captain, why don't you take you do something about the speech problem? But if you're willing to take the time out to do it, we'll pay for it." And from that day on, let me tell you, my life has never been the same again because right now, I can go all over the world. I can speak to 100 people, 1,000 people. I can do radio interviews. I can do TV interviews. I can do it all. But that never would have happened had I played the victim in life.
In 1993, Love had come full circle, being hired by his former Chicago Bulls, serving as their Director of Community Relations. The very next year, Love's number 10 jersey was retired by the Chicago Bulls franchise. That was another Lenny Moon